Welcome back to the Your Health television program hosted by the Monterey County Health Department. I'm Emily Sciolto, your host today and just about every third Monday of each month. Our topic today is California's new 2012 laws, and in this next segment we'll be discussing some new measures relating to cyberbullying. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my next guest, the Superintendent of Monterey County Schools, Dr. Nancy Kotowski. Welcome, Dr. Kotowski, and thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
Indeed. So cyberbullying, I feel like I've been hearing about this more and more, probably with the advent of, additional social networking sites and the popularity of those, but I can't honestly say I know what it is exactly. What is cyberbullying?
Well, let's begin maybe with understanding what bullying is, and then we'll look at the cyber component of it. But bullying is an intentional harm doing to another individual, by an individual or by a group. And it can be a very aggressive behavior, and usually bullying occurs over time. It's not just a one-time kind of an act, but something that is being intentionally done over time, and usually done to someone who is less powerful than the person or group that's doing this intentional harm doing to another. And so when you take a look then at the cyber component of it, it means that this is happening now using electronic devices and the internet today. And so this is what makes it very difficult, is that and easier to be done, because as we know, as you're using the electronic devices, there's a lot of anonymity that is going on because you don't know who the person is. It can be done in private. It's not as confrontational at the moment, but it can be extremely hurtful because of today, the way messages that can be put up and images that can be put up and uploaded onto the internet and be spread out to large groups of people. So it isn't just something that's happening between the individuals in a smaller group situation, but now it becomes so very public when the electronic devices are involved, such as the cell phones that students or kids are using today, and everyone's using today, the iPads, computers, going up onto YouTube, and all of this becomes something now that gets spread a lot quicker and almost instantaneous. The person is exposed on a broad base. And
it gets put out there so much wider. Beyond maybe the whole school might hear about it. Oh yeah, maybe the whole district might hear about it in this case. That the internet has quite a reach.
It does.
So what do parents need to know about cyberbullying, and what can they do to ensure their children are safe and not engaging in cyberbullying behavior?
Yeah, there's the two components of it. It's first of all, ensuring that your child is not being harmed in any way intentionally with any kind of form of bullying, and that would be to look for the signs that your child would be showing, such as withdrawing, not wanting to become involved, staying close to home, maybe not wanting to go to school, being sad and depressed. And so whenever we see such signs like that occurring, it's really important to probe down into what's going on and be very watchful and observant of what's happening with your child for your child's sake. And open communication is always the best way. And I think if families had meals together on occasions and during the week, and we really take that time so that there's an ongoing dialogue in the home, that's really important, so that the child feels comfortable being able to tell parents whatever they need to say. But you can watch for those signs in your child. And the other thing is to monitor your children's cell phones, iPads, computers, and really know what's going on, because oftentimes that's happening all the time with those thumbs are moving, and being able to make sure that you are carefully monitoring what is happening with your child with electronic devices, that's important.
Indeed.
And then in terms of a child who may be bullying other people,
the perpetrator.
That's the perpetrator of the bullying. I think that's important as well. And parents can pick up on that, as well as teachers and everyone else that's around our children, by the way that they talk. and the way that they, about others, and the way they, what the things that they laugh at, and the stories that they tell. Because sometimes, you know, when you are into making fun of people or you're hearing ridicule of any kind, it can lead you to say, well, okay, let's probe this a little bit more deeply here, because what's happening here that's not respectful? And being attuned to the kind of humor and whether there's any ridicule going on with your child. And then, of course, again, monitoring all those electronic devices closely.
Yeah, so it sounds like just being very, you know, open and really paying attention to some of the nuances, and maybe not even nuances. You know, maybe these things are overt, like you mentioned, it's noticeable by fellow students, other teachers, etc. So just paying attention, and there are parental controls on many devices that parents can play with, because most likely they pay the bill too.
Yes,
so they're well within their means there. So what is required of schools to address cyberbullying?
Well, schools have always had policy. This has been a long-standing policy that has been required under education code to against bullying, and to monitor that and to punish students for that act. It's very clearly been a requirement in our schools. However, what is new is the passage of AB 746, which now defines much more clearly what it means to be engaged with cyberbullying, which would be the uploading of information onto the social media. So it's using these electronic devices, but also what you're doing with them in terms of communicating them to wider audiences.
And so the new law pertaining to cyberbullying, it states that these, if one is found to have been, you know, engaging in cyberbullying, the perpetrator, schools can now expel and suspend those students, those perpetrators.
Yes, they can be suspended for that kind of behavior, yes, and punished for engaging in using electronic devices for bullying purposes, and it's now clarified the uploading of this onto social media networks using the internet.
Okay, so why do you think kids cyberbully each other? Why not do it in person? Well, why do it online? Why?
Well, that's a good question as to why is that happening now, because electronic devices are just so readily available. Children have them at very young ages. Everyone has them and uses them. In fact, when you've left yours behind and you're without it for a day, you certainly realize that it's not there, and
There's
you're not in
panic.
that level of communication. And so because children have these devices and they're using them as just a normal means of communication, it's just a tool by which they communicate. Texting is a lot easier than calling friends even now. People quickly send text messages back and forth and to others, and they're just, it's part of the world for our children today.
Absolutely.
You know, I think we grew up as digital immigrants, but the children are digital natives. They're using this from the youngest ages on. It's just a part of what we do today.
Oh yeah, there's kids that are, you know, 4, 5, 6 that have cell phones. I don't know that I was able to use one when I was that young.
No.
But so we have this term cyber baiting. What is cyber baiting? I've heard that as well.
Well, this is another new term that's popped up, and to cyber bait someone means that you provoke someone to behave in a way that you can catch it on camera and then upload it onto the YouTube or send it off. So to cyber bait someone is just to provoke them into a behavior that can catch them being angry or doing something that they shouldn't be doing, and it's being taped or caught, photographed, and then it's being uploaded onto the internet and passed on to others to see. So you actually provoke somebody into doing something by what you've said or done, and then put them into that terrible position where someone may
Discover
react.
that.
Yeah,
or discover it, right?
React in a way, and then you get it, and then it's on tape, and then soon enough it's passed around to everyone to see.
Oh, so that is a form of cyberbullying in and of itself, because you're encouraging someone to act out, correct?
Yes.
And then once they do, you've caught that and you're able to upload that and share it as well. So is cyberbaiting occurring locally?
No, we have not had this occurring, and our schools have, for the most part, they have cell phone policies where with the use of electronic devices is not allowed in the classroom unless that's approved by the teacher for an educational purpose. So it's not occurring in the classroom, but that, and where would that be occurring? Because young people have these electronic devices. So I do think it's important for people to be aware of their behavior more than ever, because you just never know that something you may not think is being captured electronically could be, and then it could land up onto YouTube. And we've heard stories in the news about situations where somebody has put something up onto the YouTube and not realized the ramifications of what they have said or done. And so I think we just need to be very aware of that. And if we start to see that someone is baiting us, whether or not electronic devices are involved, it requires really thinking clearly and taking responsibility for our behavior.
Right. So what type of collaborations are occurring in Monterey County to prevent cyberbullying?
Well, we are addressing this topic both at the school level and the school district level, and at the policy level with our school boards association. In Monterey County, we have a Monterey County School Boards Association that provides local training right here and for our school board members. We have 24 school districts in Monterey County, and all of our school board members have the opportunity to attend training that we collaboratively design to meet the needs that our school board members feel they really would like to have addressed. And so one of those topics is creating and ensuring a positive school climate in our schools. So coming up at the end of January, there will be a school board training on this topic of bullying, which is, of course, ensuring a safe environment. This is one of the major components, is that our students feel safe and comfortable in school.
Absolutely.
And so we're doing that, and of course we do have regular meetings and networking meetings with representatives from our school districts, and they're updated on the latest laws that have been passed, and ensuring that their policies and procedures are all up to date, and that's occurring. And then also just through our we have ongoing monthly meetings with our school district leaders, and in those meetings we address topics such as this important one, and share any information that would be helpful to the school districts, or examples of very best practices or strategies that are working really well.
And probably examples of how this is happening, because
Yes.
And that's one of the, I guess, another question that I may have is, how do you discover the cyberbullying? Is it reported to school authorities, and then, the perpetrating students are punished that way, or do you discover this online, or are school administrators looking online to monitor that sort of thing, or?
Well, it's a combination of all of that.
Gotcha. Okay.
We need to be really aware of what's occurring socially for our students, and a lot of times things can happen outside the classroom. And such as on the playground is an important place, arriving to school, on the school bus. There's so many of the various places that our children are. And what I think is most important is just the word respect, and the kind of environment that we create in our schools, and the kind of culture that we establish with how everyone treats each other. And when respect is the foundation of everything we do, then everyone behaves in a respectful manner toward everyone. And then in that kind of an environment, everyone feels safe. And so whenever I will see or hear of behavior going on, you always know there's something going on under the surface. And it's important to be able to address what's going on, probe it more deeply, and find out what the root causes are, so that we create really positive environments where everyone feels safe and loves being there.
Yeah, that's the best part about school, is that you get to go and learn and be with each other and learn from each other. So what other things, you mentioned a training at the end of this month for school board members. what other types of things will be available to them at the training regarding cyberbullying, or do you have plans to kind of tackle this issue more in the future, or?
Yeah, well, we always have things, everyone goes home with something practical, to apply. And what I'm most excited about is we have just our district attorney, Dean Flippo, and his office has been so dedicated to also prevention and realizing how important that is. And our district attorney's office has a program called Net Smarts. Oh. And it's a training program for teachers and for parents. And so our district attorney's office will be making a presentation at that. So it's bringing together our collaborative partners that we've been working with and some of the very best practices and strategies that are being put in place so we can share that with others.
Yeah, I'm assuming the plan, how it must be difficult to kind of organize a structure in which to prevent this and have, get everyone on board. I'm imagining there's some type of plan that you have in place or that's being sort of implemented to prevent this, because cyberbullying is, like you said, it's a form of bullying. It can lead to other negative, perhaps even violent behaviors.
Yeah. And just to be so hurtful to a person, to do that. One of the things, though, I'm most excited about is that in our county, Monterey County Children's Council is going to be launching very soon an initiative that we're calling All Kids Are Kids. Be there for them every day.
Okay.
And it's about the family, the school, and the community. It's about our adult behavior and how are all of us supporting our youth in growing and developing in very positive ways that build up their self-esteem and how our young people feel good about themselves and they know that they're respected and valued and important in our communities. So be looking for that. Maybe I really hope people will be. We're looking to galvanize the entire community around being part of reaching out and supporting our young people.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Dr. Kotowski, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. We've learned that cyberbullying happens often enough for there to be a new law making it expellable and suspendable for the perpetrating students. And it's important, I think a good takeaway message is it's important for parents to understand that this is happening and the various mechanisms through which it happens, and to monitor those things, monitor your child's behavior. Because it's online, it might not be extremely obvious, but it is happening, and you're able to tell. So thank you again, Dr. Kotowski, and right now we're going to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be right back with more of the Your Health Television program.